Crime affects us all, it violates our sense of safety and challenges our values. But what drives people to commit these acts? Poverty, lack of education, and social inequality are often at the root. People living in deprived communities may see crime as a means of survival or a way to challenge a system they see as unfair. Furthermore, childhood trauma and exposure to violence can leave lasting scars, making individuals more prone to criminal behavior. Mental health issues also play a significant role, as untreated conditions can impair judgment and increase impulsivity. It is important to remember that crime is a complex issue with no easy answers. Addressing the root causes of crime requires a multifaceted approach, one that tackles social inequalities, provides opportunities for education and employment, and offers support to those struggling with mental health issues. Only then can we hope to break the cycle of crime and build a safer, more just society for all. Different countries have vastly different approaches to criminal justice. Some emphasize punishment, while others prioritize rehabilitation. Norway stands out as a country that prioritizes rehabilitation over retribution. Norwegian prisons focus on helping inmates reintegrate into society. They provide education, job training, and therapy to address the underlying causes of criminal behavior. This approach has led to remarkably low recidivism rates, meaning fewer people return to prison after their release. Norway's model demonstrates that a humane and rehabilitative approach to justice can be more effective than a purely punitive one. By treating offenders with dignity and providing them with the tools they need to turn their lives around, Norway has created a safer and more just society. The death penalty remains one of the most hotly debated issues in criminal justice. Proponents argue that it deters crime and provides a just punishment for the most heinous offenses. They believe that society has a moral obligation to execute those who commit the most terrible crimes. Opponents, however, argue that the death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment, violating the fundamental right to life. They point to the risk of executing innocent people, as well as the discriminatory nature of its application. There is no evidence to suggest that the death penalty is a more effective deterrent than life in prison. The death penalty is a complex issue with no easy answers. However, the possibility of wrongful execution and the lack of a deterrent effect raise serious ethical and practical concerns. Section 4. Rehabilitation versus retribution, two sides of the same coin. The criminal justice system grapples with two fundamental philosophies, rehabilitation and retribution. Retribution focuses on punishment, seeking to inflict pain or suffering on the offender proportional to the harm they caused. It is based on the idea of an eye for an eye. Rehabilitation, on the other hand, aims to reform the offender, addressing the underlying causes of their behavior and helping them become productive members of society. This approach emphasizes education, job training, and counseling. While retribution might offer a sense of immediate satisfaction, it does little to address the root causes of crime or prevent future offenses. Rehabilitation, although more challenging, holds the promise of breaking the cycle of crime and creating a safer, more just society. Section 5. Juvenile justice, a different approach for young offenders. Children and teenagers are not fully developed adults. They lack the same level of judgment, impulse control, and decision-making abilities. Therefore, they should not be subjected to the same punishments as adults within the justice system. The juvenile justice system recognizes this by focusing on rehabilitation and providing young offenders with opportunities for education, counseling, and community service. This approach acknowledges that young people have a greater capacity for change and growth. By investing in rehabilitation and providing young offenders with support, we can help them turn their lives around and become productive members of society. Section 6. Rethinking justice towards a fairer system. Our current justice systems, while aiming for fairness, often fall short. We must ask ourselves, does our system truly serve justice or perpetuate cycles of inequality? The over-incarceration of marginalized communities and the persistence of racial disparities raise serious concerns. We must prioritize rehabilitation over retribution, investing in programs that address the root causes of crime, such as poverty, lack of education, and mental health issues. We must also address the systemic biases that plague our justice system, ensuring equal treatment under the law for all. Building a fairer justice system requires a fundamental shift in our thinking. It demands that we move away from a purely punitive approach and embrace a more humane and restorative model. Only then can we hope to create a society where justice is truly blind and everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive.